Yeah, I think that when you read this story, again, you immediately begin to understand that while this is the story of one man, that John is using the life of this one man to draw a much larger picture, and that in a way that this is one of the characters in the Bible, this man who's blind from birth, who's healed by Jesus. He's one of these characters that it's not hard to find yourself in his shoes. It's easy to see his story as your story, and I think that's exactly the point. This guy's transition from physical blindness to being able to see it's a brilliant, beautiful, and easy to understand analogy of what God is trying to accomplish in each of our lives. That what God wants to do is take us from spiritual darkness, from sin, into light. And that whole thing, just like his physical healing was brought through Jesus, our spiritual healing, our spiritual salvation, our restoration, forgiveness, however you want to say it, is all brought through Jesus. So this story is all about painting that much, much larger picture of the transition from darkness into light. And you can actually see the transition in this man's life by how he refers to Jesus throughout the story. He starts off by just like referring to Jesus. He's just the man that they call Jesus. That's the first way he refers to him. And then later on in the story, he says, well, he's a prophet. And then by the end of the story, he's gone from, well, he's just this man they call Jesus to, well, he's a prophet, to in the end, he calls him Lord. And he recognizes Jesus as the Son of Man, as the Messiah that was promised from the Old Testament. So through this story, he goes through this massive transition, and it's an amazing story that paints an incredible picture for us.